KC0 of VII Tom here. It is past the holiday season. We're getting to January 2023. Hopefully 2023 will be a very good year for you guys out there, my viewers, and even for myself. Better than 22 or 21. If you're new to the channel, you may not know what all has happened to me the last couple of years. It was not fun. It was not pretty. Sit back and we'll talk a little bit. Normally this time of the year we go through what we did last year, what we're looking forward to this coming year. And bear with me guys, this is going to be kind of hard on me. I may break down once in a while, but first thing I want to do is thank you for all you viewers out there who've reached out to me one way or the other with comments, talks, texts. It helps. Thank you. Started out here back in July of 21. My father passed away. He was 90 some years old. During the summertime, I'd go up there, even the winter before, I'd go up there either Saturday or Sunday morning, have a little breakfast or coffee with them. He would have a list of stuff for me to do. Have a little, sit down and BS with them after we got with the projects done, and I'd come home here and do something for Joyce around the house here. In July, he was not feeling very well. I was up there having breakfast with him. One of my sisters was up there doing some laundry for mom and dad, and she went to check on the load, and dad turned to me and says, I'm going to pass away this week. Not quite sure what day it is, but take care of the cats. He has 2 cats that he got from one of my sisters. Take care of your sisters and help out around the house here. That was a shock to me. He was 90, he was having health problems, but he knew it was going to be sooner than what we expected. So got everything done, and boy, when you're mowing the yard, that was like 4.5 acre property that they have up there. You have a lot of time to think. It really hit me hard. We went camping the next day and got a call from one of the sisters. He is not doing well, so we broke camp up early, came back. I was able to be at the bedside with all my sisters when it did happen. Even though it's expected, it still hits you pretty hard. September of 22, my mom was at a rest home up in Brownsdale, and I'd go up there a Sunday morning usually, watch church service or Daniel Boone with her, have a little meal with her. And the last time I saw her, she mentioned the same deal, says, I'm going to be with your father this week. Take care of the cats, take care of your sisters, take care of the house. And it was just, wow, deja vu all over again, as Yogi would say. Hit me pretty hard. Again, they were both in their 90s. It was expected, but they went faster than we thought. Good thing, if there is any good thing about passing the way they did, they were not in pain. It was quick, and they should be very proud of what they did. They raised 8 kids who have a very good family ethics, embedded into them, a work ethic that is unbelievable. So starting out this year, January, February, we had a very good Valentine's Day here. The winter was not too bad, and we got into March, and Joyce was always a little, she's been complaining the last couple of months about little stomach problems or discomfort in her intestinals, stuff like that, but everything seemed okay, and I kept asking her whether or not she was going to talk to her caregiver and that, and she said, yeah, I'll talk to her tomorrow, and something would come up she would never do. She was diagnosed when she finally did go in for some checkups with lymphoma, and they had a plan laid out on treatment. My 2 daughters had rearranged their summer sessions, their schedules. One's a school teacher, one's in the Air Force. They'd be home here to help out with the treatment plan. It was going to be back and forth to the hospital, and she took a turn for the worst at the end of May, and in June 6th she passed away. Was not expecting that. Thank goodness all the kids were home here with me when it did happen. We were there at the hospital when it happened. I was actually coming home to pick up a load of stuff for everybody, and we think that she just held on until I left. She didn't want me to pass when I was in the room. She was like that. She always looked after everybody else, but not herself. Thank goodness, like I said, all the kids were home here. We were able to hang on to each other, help each other through the rough spots, and go from there. Right away, we had a little meeting, family meeting on what we were going to do. None of the kids wanted to take over the greenhouse operations. I didn't know how to run the greenhouse operation, and so we decided we're just going to close it down as soon as we could, liquidate all the stock we had, all the supplies, and sell everything off. When she was going into the hospital and was back and forth on different diagnoses for a treatment plan before she passed, We had some friends in the area that would come down and help out, cover the, so we had somebody here to wait on people. That time of year is not good. It's not good to have anybody pass on you, but the springtime for a greenhouse operation is very busy. We have urns going out to the cemeteries. We have people buying bedding stock to go around the house. We got graduations coming up, stuff like that. And the other thing, like I said, is the worst possible thing could happen. It happened. A lot of the urns, we had a problem getting them out there because she kept so much stuff in her head. She didn't write anything down, and we got everything out there we could. Then we had to sit down and do the billing and did most of what we could. And last month I had somebody show up here who was a little complaining that the urns were still at the gravesite. And by the way, what happened to the business here? Where's everything, you know? Christy kind of ran the show there. She was able to contact other flower shops in the area and sold a lot of the supplies off. These shops knew what we had and they gave us a very good price on it. We were not worried about getting ripped off. Like I said, we worked with these other businesses for over the years. A lot of the bedding stock we sold out just to get rid of it. The plan was not to have a debt, cover cover the cost of everything, not make a lot of money, but also make sure we didn't have a debt at the end of the year. We're able to do that. The two greenhouses are gone, and everything else is gone. This spring I'll be planting grass out there where the greenhouses were. The first greenhouse I'm going to keep, turn into more of a shop or a garage, and go from there. So as you can tell, with all that going on, camping was not done. The camper was actually being used by the two daughters. They stayed in there at night when they were home here. That gave them a place to go to be alone if they needed to be alone, and also they come interview with me the evening when I came home from work. My job at Nyack, again, back in 21, I was kind of forced into retirement when they did some changes. Turned 60, got forced into retirement. You know, oh wow, that's a good kick in the butt. And after she passed, there was a couple of days I went back to work, and a lot of people were concerned that I was at work and wondering what was going on. And Dr. Schultz tracked me down. When you work at Nyack, it's not a career; it's more of a family atmosphere. He wanted to know what I was doing there. He says, "What do you want me to do? Stay at home in an empty home and think about what had happened?" Here, I got 300 people who got my back. I can't fail. Neighbors here in the neighborhood were always checking on me at night or during the day when I was out walking around, going in the yard, stuff like that. The normal people here in St. Ansgar would always check on me when they'd see me at the post office or at the car wash or the, whatever, talk to me about how things are going. SMG, my new work family, they were reaching out to me, checking on stuff. And I mentioned this once before, I do a little work for the Mason City government, and even they reached out and wanted to make sure everything was going good. So when you have that much support, you can't fail. I may stumble, I may kind of moan and break down, but we'll get through this. So plans for this coming year. Back in February of last year, the radio club in Mason City they're on a rebuilding form. The club was going good, then they kind of fell apart, which happens to a lot of clubs. And they were kind of doing, especially about I believe it was 5 years of membership. You got 1 to 2 years free, so we both signed up for that. And after she passed, I was contacted by the group, want to know if I wanted a refund on her membership. I told no. She would want them to use the money to help, get the club going. So we'll be doing a lot of stuff with the Mason City group. Also, I'm still a member of the Austin Amateur Radio Club, so I'll be doing some work, stuff with them up there. In February, we have the Festival of Kites in Clear Lake. Hopefully it's going to be warmer than it was last year. Man, that was cold. Coming up here in a couple weeks, we have the Rescue Breakfast Feed here in St. Ansgar. We'll shoot some quick video on that. There's also, we're working on going out to the Buddy Holly crash site here in February. Mike Munchauer, the music director here for the channel, he's kind of like a local expert on the crash site and surf ballroom. So we're going to see if we can get some video shot of that. If he wants to go out there now when it's cold and snowy, because it really hits you hard when you see what it was like out there when the plane went down. And I'm just thinking, how much clothes can I ever wrap up in? We're going to do a lot more camping this year. Pooh's got some little stuff to get worked on her nose and get that going. So we want to get back out there, get camping, and do some reviews on that. The big thing I'm really disappointed in is the RV shows in the area. The great big RV show that was always held at the Mayo Civic Center, put on by Noble RV and Top RV. Back in the fall of 21, spring of 22, in that time frame, both of those dealerships were bought out by Camping World. Since they are now under the Camping World umbrella, there's no need to have a show, and there's not going to be a big show. There's going to be a home builder show coming up. I believe that's at the end of February at the Civic Center. And over in Grand Marina, around that time frame, there is a home lifestyle show. I'm not quite sure what that one's about. We'll check into that, see if we can go over there and shoot some video on that. The only RV show that I'm finding for southern Minnesota or North Iowa are either in Minneapolis, La Crosse, Cedar Falls, Des Moines, and not quite sure what we're going to do for RV shows. I always enjoyed going to the home shows and RV shows with Dad. You got to see a lot of neat stuff. You got to see what the new rigs look like. You got a good deal on accessories and all your supplies for the year. So, like everything else, times are changing. Camping, we are still going to be doing a lot of work with the local chamber here at St. Ansgar, doing some videos on all the events they're doing, and we'll continue on. When you lose somebody, Joyce and I were together we were married for 39 years. We dated a few years before that, so we were together for 42 years. You always end up with a little bit of yourself and them and you. Anytime I had a little disaster or emergency here on the greenhouse sites, I'd get there, it's kind of looking over. It could be from a furnace not working, to water line breaking, car not starting. I'd be sitting there looking at it, trying to figure out in my head what to do. She would always stand behind me and she would say 3 things to me. Tom, I love you. Do you have a plan on how to get this going? And is there anything you need from me to help you? Even to this day, I still hear her say that to me when I come across a problem. About a week or so ago, sound asleep about 2 in the morning and had a low temperature alarm went off, and just automatically flew out of bed, grabbed the house code, got my slippers on, grabbed the flashlight. I was almost out in the first greenhouse when it dawned on me that this building's warm, the other 2 buildings are gone. What's going on here? Spun around, went back into the kitchen to look at the panel, and the batteries and the detector, the temperature sensor for the house went bad, and it detected 53 degrees. And actually the house is at 65, so we replaced the batteries. Sat there until my heart went back to a normal rhythm, and then I went back to bed. When I was flying down the stairs, in the back of my head, I heard her say those 3 lines to me, so she's always here with me. We're going to be doing a lot of neat stuff, hopefully, in the fall. Stick around. And again, thanks everybody. Be sure to tell your friends, neighbors, other hams. Subscribe, hit that bell to get notification when new videos come out. Add comments below. 7-3 everybody.